Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Joy. This is my third update on the 2026 Years of Usage Eyeshadow Project Pan. This project pan is created by Sarah Catherine, and the goal of this project is to use the eyeshadows in the project 26 times because we are in the year 2026. I am working on two eyeshadow palettes. So we have the Milani Everyday Eyes Smoky Essentials palette and the Obsession Be in Love with eyeshadow palette. For the Milani eyeshadow palette, there are 6 eyeshadows, and for this Be in Love with, there are 10 eyeshadows. Let me start my update with the Milani Everyday Eyes Smoky Essentials palette. So for this palette, I've reached for this 4 times. And I know I've reached for this 4 times because for these 2 shades, I've used them 4 times each. So whenever I reach for this palette, I actually use these 2 eyeshadows. In total, actually, I've already used these 2 shades, 13 uses each. So that's halfway of the goal of 26 uses. Then for this shade, this is called, so this is the base, this is contour, this one is a lead shade. That's what the back says. This is a lead shade, and I've used this 3 times for this update. Total number of uses is 9. And then this one is a crease shade, but I've not been using this as a crease shade. Rather, I've been using this as an eyeliner. I've used this 10 times in total. For this update, 3 uses. And then this specialty shade, which is my favorite shade in this palette, I've used this 5 times for this update. Sorry, I've used this 4 times rather. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how could I use this 5 times when I've only reached for this palette 4 times. So this, I've used this 4 times. In total, I've used this 9 times. And for this liner shade, I've used this 3 times for this update, and total number of uses is 6. So amongst the eyeshadows here, this one I've used the least. I need to find a way to reach for this actually, but it's not a favorite. So anyway, for this eyeshadow palette, it looks like I'm already halfway if we look at these 2 shades. But for the rest of the shade, there's still a long way to go. The next one with the most number of uses will be this one, which I've been using as an eyeliner. And then followed by these 2 shades. And this one, the least number of uses. But so far, for 3 updates, I'm progressing well. Perhaps it looks like I'll be able to hit my goal of 26 uses on this palette this year. Now for the Be in Love with eyeshadow palette, and there are 10 eyeshadows in here. Let me start with the shade Dreamer. For this one, I only use this once. This one I don't really like using, but I've reused this once. Total number of uses is now 4. For Beloved, I've used this twice for this update, and total number of uses is 6. Romeo, I've used this 3 times in total, but I have not reached for this at all for this update. And then Treasure, I've used this once only for this update. Total number of uses is 3. Starry Eyed, which is now my favorite shade in this eyeshadow palette. I've used this 3 times for this update. Total number of uses is 5. And then Adore, for this update, I've used this 5 times. So I've reached for this palette 5 times because whenever I reach for this palette, I use this shade. Total number of uses is 16. So for this one, 10 more uses to go, and then I'll be hitting my goal on this one. It will be the first eyeshadow I will be hitting goal on. Then Rapport, for this one, I've used this twice for this update. Total number of uses is 6. For Bond, I've used this twice as well, and total number of uses is 5. Soulmate, I've used this once only for this update, but total number of uses is 9. This one I've been reaching for in my previous updates, but not this time. Because I noticed that I've been using this more than the others, and I want to be able to catch up with the other shades. So I only use this once for this update. And then Bow, this one I've used 3 times. This one I would normally use as my eyeliner. Total number of uses for this one is 10. So, that's my update for the 2026 Years of Usage Eyeshadow Project Pan. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!